If you've been following along, you'll know about the special election to find the Republican nominee for U.S. Senate for the November general election. Early voting started today, with the last day to vote on August 11th and the runoff on August 25th. This special election is necessary because of the death of Senator Lindsey Graham. You may know that 9 people are on the ballot, or is it 10? You may not know that 12 people filed. 3 people were disqualified from being on the ballot. One of them lives in North Carolina and therefore does not meet the constitutional requirements for being a senator, namely living in the state. The other 2 were disqualified by the South Carolina Republican Party because of a new rule that they passed over the summer. According to this rule, a candidate is only qualified to run as a member of the Republican Party if they have voted in 2 of the last 3 Republican primaries and if they're a registered Republican. So let's pause here for a moment. According to the U.S. Constitution, to be a senator, you need 3 things. 1, live in the state you want to represent. That's why the one candidate was disqualified. 2, be age 30 or older. 3, be a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years. So, can the SCGOP, a private political party, mandate additional requirements in a publicly funded election? We probably won't know that answer for some time. One of the candidates who was disqualified, Danny Ford, sued to have his name added to the ballot. You may know him because he recently appeared on the Republican primary ballot for Commissioner of Agriculture. He even made it to the runoff, but lost the nomination. He was disqualified this time because he did not meet the new rules set by the SCGOP after the June primary. He did not vote in 2 of the last 3 Republican primaries, and apparently the primary and primary runoff for one cycle count as one election, though the language in the rule doesn't explicitly say that. They did grant an exception for Darlene Graham, our new appointed senator. Also, he's not a registered Republican because no one in South Carolina is a registered anything because we don't do that here. They seem to just gloss over that one. Seems the rule is preparing for a future they hope for, but hasn't happened yet. So Judge Daniel Coble heard the arguments on Monday and ruled on Tuesday that Mr. Ford needs to be added to all ballots feasible. This is because the ballots for our overseas military and absentee voters have already been printed, shipped, and some even returned. And again, early voting started today. Judge Coble does not rule on the larger question of whether or not these rules can stand. So why bring this up today? Because it's all wrapped up in the SCGOP wanting to control their candidates and voters. Remember the push to close primaries and to force party registration? This is part of that same campaign that will push voters into boxes and further polarize our population. Not only is the SCGOP suing to close the primaries, we're sure to see it come up again in the legislature. At Better Ballot SC, we're all about ensuring that as many citizens can vote as possible in the way that they want. Our voters deserve more choice and more voice, not less. To help us combat these restrictive measures, please donate to betterballotsc.org/donate. Have a good one.